Yo, what's up, guys? We're finally down to the last couple mythical Pokemon that are accessible via Scarlet and Violet. Today's is going to be kind of special considering the long history of this Pokemon, but before we get right into it, please like and subscribe. That is the best way to support me for free. Now, I didn't know what to decide whether to honestly use this Pokemon as the second to last or the last. But you know what? This Pokemon in itself is a deity, literally. So we're going to talk about none other than Arceus. So instead of the usual yellow body that it has, Arceus is more of a yellowish color. Now, being the god of all Pokemon, I expected a lot more. But you know what? This Pokemon has been around for almost 2 decades. So let's jump into how you can get a legal shiny Arceus in Scarlet and Violet. First and foremost, just want to get this out of the way. For those of you who think you can shiny hunt mythical Pokemon in Legends Arceus, and I have encountered several commentators saying that, guess what? The 5 mythical Pokemon in Legends Arceus or Arceus, for those of you who are just annoying with the pronunciation of such non existent, non important Pokemon, you can't. It's not shiny. Can you imagine being the face or the box cover mythical Pokemon of a game that basically is changing the direction of how Pokemon games are meant to be, and yet you cannot be shiny hunted? Bum ass Pokemon. But on to more serious things. If we look into the history of Arceus mystery gift distributions, guess what? The last time we had a mystery gift distribution was about 6 years ago in Japan. Of course, Japan being that little spoiled kid on Christmas Eve that gets all the toys and all the cool cars, and America just gets a pair of socks. But going down the list, America hasn't had an Arceus distribution since 2016, almost 7 years ago. And there it is, Japan, the year before, happened to get a shiny Arceus distribution. And this is kind of a weird Pokemon to own nowadays because of, Pokemon Home being Pokemon Home. But this Pokemon itself had moves such as Blast Burn and Hydro Cannon. Very interesting moves. Obviously, that's definitely not normal. Kind of like the Darkrai. If you guys recall, Darkrai had a distribution way, way, way long time ago that it had, Spatial Rend and Aurora Time and Phantom Force and all crazy kind of moves. This is a similar case for this Arceus. And this happened to be, if I recall, from years back, this distribution happened in Japan due to the premiering of the Hoopa movie. If you guys remember Hoopa being the main character, summoning all those legendary Pokemon through its rings, yep, I'm pretty sure that is what the movie was about. It was via a serial code, and basically at the end of August 2015. That's 8 years ago, almost 9 years ago at this point. And my goodness, I am getting old. So, what other ways are there in order for you to get a shiny Arceus? Well, obviously, the very first one that comes to mind is Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. You can technically shiny hunt an Arceus as long as you have access to the item, the Azure Flute, that allows you to gain access to the Hollow Origin. You can static encounter this Pokemon. Unfortunately, just like the other mythical Pokemon that have static counters, it's going to be full odds shiny chances. So 1 out of 4,096. Shiny Charm is not going to work because when has the Shiny Charm ever worked in Pokemon games nowadays? And if that deity Pokemon is piss yellow, congrats. Pat on the back. It's a shiny Arceus. And this Arceus can be transferred into Pokemon Home, and Pokemon Home can be then transferred into Scarlet and Violet. Arceus has not been released in Pokemon Go as of this recording, and even if there was, I highly doubt there was going to be a shiny variation anytime soon, although Pokemon Go needs to start catching up on quite a bit of Pokemon distributions. So what is the next way you can get a shiny Arceus? Well, this next method, I'm going to put it in this video because people have been curious. I'm pretty sure people have seen videos, but technically you could get a shiny Arceus in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. But pump the brakes. You guys gotta have a little bit of history behind as to why this Pokemon could be shiny. Yes, just like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, this Pokemon can be caught shiny. Full odds. The problem is getting to this Pokemon is way complicated. Because if you guys recall, back in 2008, 2009, when Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum were at their peaks, The Azure Flute, the key item that allows you to access the Hollow Origin, which contains this Pokemon, never was distributed. So unless you had an action replay, unless you know how to manipulate and glitch out your games to oblivion, the item didn't exist, and therefore technically this Pokemon is appeared to be coded in the game, but it just doesn't quote unquote exist because you need an item to access this. So if you did do the glitch, if you use an action replay to get the Azure Flute and access the Hollow Origin, yes, there is a chance you can catch this Pokemon shiny. Problem is, the games themselves, along with the Pokemon Bank transfer or Poke transfer or Pokebanks, they don't recognize this Pokemon being legitimate because, again, it was coded in the game, but it's not supposed to appear behind a locked item that's not supposed to be distributed. Therefore, you cannot transfer this Arceus in particular without running into problems via Poke Transfer and Pokebank. So, again, this is not a legitimate way to get a shiny Arceus. And you guys are also might be wondering, well, wasn't there another Arceus distribution in Pokemon Dream World? Yes, there was an Arceus Dream World distribution. However, that was not coded to appear shiny. So, again, one of the most common ways for you to get a shiny Arceus is by simply shiny hunting in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Hey, if the modern times allows you to have access to such Pokemon, especially a Pokemon this rare, nowadays, I would definitely recommend getting Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Of course, we had the event item that was distributed. I don't know if it expired at this point, and if it did, tough luck. You missed out on one of the craziest Pokemon to ever walk the earth. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for all the support you guys have given me over the past videos. Yes, I do have one more Pokemon, and this Pokemon, you're kind of looking at it, the very next one that I'm going to talk about, and it has a pretty lengthy history. So don't miss out on that video by simply liking, subscribing, turning on notification bells so you guys don't miss out. This is your boy Franklin, signing out. Peace.